Hi, I'm Dawn Jenyce, and welcome to the podcast Authentic Living with Dawn Jenyce. I had this experience a few years ago. I went to a breathwork event, which if you haven't done that before, it is a unique experience. It brought me to a place that I'd never been in my body before. After the experience was over, I looked across the small gathering in this yoga studio, and there was this beautiful glow with a face inside of it. It was Laura Foster. I met this beautiful lady who literally glowed from love of life. Have you ever experienced that, where you could actually see somebody's light because they are so happy? That's what I saw with Laura. We stayed connected over these last few years, and she and I had a brief conversation before the official interview. I wanted to share that with you right now. So I love your sassiness. I love the bullshit word. I love all of that.
That's fine. Yeah, and I mean, I have the ability not to cuss if you prefer me not to, but it is where I am and it is part of who I am.
You be real. You be real.
Yeah. I did a podcast earlier this week, and the gal's like, "Could you just not cuss?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can honor that, but I want to let people know if they're going to look at my stuff, that's just part of who I am right now."
And you know what? Some of us really appreciate it, the fact that we can let our hair down around you. So I think it's fine.
I'm living an authentic life for sure. So
you are. Good for you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I came to this journey. I spent the majority of my life being about 260 pounds. Mm-hmm. And I was in my early 40s, I was already on 5 different medications and not well. And I just had my physical awakening happened when I watched my parents at a very young age pass away. And I was living their exact lifestyle. My brother passed away a couple years after them at 56. And I just looked at them and I'm like, I'm not fucking going out like that.
Right.
And basically I studied like Bruce Lipton stuff, the epigenetics, because I was living how I was programmed. Hey, everybody in my family's obese and has this, that, and the other. I was living that. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't have to live like that. Oh, I can reverse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, basically in a nutshell, how I brought the physical well-being on, became vegetarian. I'm now vegan, triathlete. I mean, I love my life and I'm on fire to bring that to people. It's like, you don't have to live like that another day. I mean, I am med free. I love my life and I'm in alignment with who I really am. So
yes, I gave her permission to use profanity. I hope that's okay with you. I love Laura. I love her authenticity. That's why she's here today. So Laura's whole program is called Holistic Scaffolding. After her experience of losing weight and becoming who she authentically is and not following the norms of her family, her physical, mental, and spiritual well-being emerged. And I'm really anxious for you to learn more about Laura, her journey, and what she has for us today. Here is Laura Foster.
Hello, and thank you so much. It is an honor and pleasure to be in your presence and to be here today. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I'm the one who's honored. So Laura is an author. She's a barefoot triathlete, which is super impressive to me, a wisdom worker, and a transformational guide. And I've just been reading through your bio. I love this part that you wrote in here, which says that you like to help people pull themselves out of their bullshit. Tell me about that.
Absolutely. You know what? We have all, as humanity, we have all been programmed with the bullshit that we tell ourselves all the time. And that is not in alignment with our true self. Our true self is what's underneath all that bullshit. Now, I don't know. It doesn't matter what you call your true self. Some people call it soul, spirit, I sometimes call it my wise ass motherfucker. I don't know. It's your intuition, gut feeling. Doesn't matter what you call it. It is under that. And the more in alignment you are with that, the more you're going to live authentically, the more you're going to have joy, abundance, all the things that we want, self-love. It's all over the internet, but people don't really know how to get there. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. So you help people get there. And I see that you have a program that's, I believe, five steps, correct?
It is. I actually have been gifted something from the universe. It is called Holistic Scaffolding. Yeah, people have not heard of it because it came through to the universe. I am kind of the vessel bringing it to humanity. And it is unlike anything you've ever done before. Basically, it is a 6-platform framework technology that people use. So you can shed your bullshit programming and conditioning and come in alignment with your true self. Then you are living authentically. You are living a life designed by you for you, not somebody else's program or blueprint on how they think you should live.
Wow. I'm all about that. As you know, this is all about being authentic. This whole program is. And that is how I work as well. And I'm really excited to talk to you about how we can take our power back today.
Absolutely. So, yes.
Yes. So this is really exciting. So what does that mean to you to take your power back?
Taking your power back means that you are starting to come into alignment with your true self. You're starting to question everything that you've ever been told or taught or your belief system. Because when you live by somebody else's rules all the time, you are leaking your power. You don't really have those clear-cut boundaries for yourself because you're not living in alignment with your true self. You're living by somebody else's rules. So in order to really take your power back, it is a process. And that's where holistic scaffolding comes in. You got to start questioning everything. Yeah. So, and we can do that as humans. We still have that power.
We do. It's like, that's so interesting that you say that it's time to start questioning everything. I've come to a point in my life where that's what's happening. The old ways of doing things, I'm looking at them going, why? Like, is there a reason, or is that just an old belief that somebody else made up for their particular life? And I think that I have to live like my ancestors have.
Exactly. And I want to make it really clear. It's not right or wrong. Even when you question things, it's not right or wrong if you decide to still continue for those beliefs and continue those habits and routines, or you choose to change them. The big message I have for people is, hey, take advantage of this opportunity. You do have the power. That's taking back your power to question everything. And then if it's really not in alignment with your true self, you have the ability to change it. So, yeah.
Love that. And I see when I'm looking through your scaffolding, which is beautifully done.
Thank you.
First you decide, you know, what do you want? Where do you want to go? What is it that you want to become? And the second is to really sort of assess where you are now.
Yeah.
And then the third is what you were just talking about, which is choice. It's about choosing.
Absolutely. And I do have, and the third step is the choice, and is choosing to live by, I call it the 5 gold goals, and it's unique to Souls Healing Humanity, but it's a way that you can never fail at goal setting again. Because again, we have been programmed, and I lived this way for many, many years. You know, the New Year's resolution, you know, I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year. You set all these goals, then you don't make them. And then you use those goals as weapons against yourself.
Oh.
You know, oh, I'm a loser. I'm never going to do this. You know, the 5 goals, when you choose those, and I do give those away for free, they only rely on you. They are not dependent on any kind of external factor. And that is power, baby. I mean, basically, I choose to know the power of I am. When you really understand that, and you know the bullshit you're telling yourself, like I'm a loser or I'm a badass motherfucking goddess. Whatever you're telling yourself, it's true. So choosing to know the power of I am, aligning with your true self. Yeah, I mean, those things, choosing to trust the universe, yourself, and others. I've got a lot on that. Choosing to be a lifelong learner. Here we are, Dawn. We are lifelong learners, and I know your listeners are as well.
Yeah.
And choosing love, that unconditional love, that's our true self. So, yeah.
And of the two options, I'm not a loser. I'm definitely a badass MFer. That's who I am. Yeah.
Indeed. There's a lot of us out there. It's like, we are not alone. There's a lot of us waking up and going, what?
This is what I love about you. This is the energy that I saw when I met you in the small little group that when we were doing the breath workshop, was this beautiful human being across the room that had this beautiful glow and smile about her and an energy that was just excited about life.
I
And
appreciate that. And I just want people to know, and I get emotional when I talk about this, but that's what we all are. That is my mission with Holistic Scaffolding, because when you do, our key out of this mess in humanity is we've got to settle in to do our own work. We've got to shed our bullshit programming and conditioning. When we're in alignment with our true self, which is love, then we see all the beautiful souls. That's where I am right now. Every time I exit my house, no matter what, the human is wrapped. I mean, that human can be wrapped in a lot of goo, but I see their beautiful souls. To me, I call it epi-politics and epi-religion. It's beyond religion. It's beyond politics. It's huge. I know this is our way out. And I know there are people that are ready to embrace this. And if they're not, I'm going to love on them anyway. It doesn't matter. I see their beautiful soul. Yeah.
and that is the gift of living authentically, is to shed those shackles that you're talking about. And unfortunately, religion and politics are shackles in our society. It's
They are.
like a framework that just holds us in where we don't belong. So that's just beautiful. I love what you just said. And I hear you. I understand what you're saying, to be able to see, to recognize other souls, other spirits that are free. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. So
It is. So when you say true self, could you go a little bit deeper about what that means?
yeah, it really is that gut feeling. Like I said, some people call it their spirit, their soul. And you're in alignment with that when things feel good to you. I know, I'm 55, so I've lived a lot of years, and I know there was a lot of times I was not in alignment with my true self, and that's when things went way sideways in my life. Now, I'm also not about playing the blame game or being a victim, because I've come to where I am in my life is that's when you learn. You absolutely learn when things do go sideways and you're not in alignment with your true self. But that's the beauty of holistic scaffolding. And if I can draw the analogy of how this works so people can get to their true self, is if you think about the sculpture Michelangelo's David. David is your true self underneath there. It is love. It is unbelievable beauty and depth. The human programming is the granite that was around David. And Michelangelo has this quote, I can never remember what it was, but basically he said David was already inside. All he had to do was chip away the granite. The holistic scaffolding is the platform. I bring together, I call them wisdom wands. They are your chisels. They're the ancient wisdom, breath work, yoga nidra, meditation. I mean, I bring a lot of things for people to use as their tools so they can chisel away, so they know their true self. Yeah, it's amazing. I live it. Other people are living it. And it's like, And the beauty is once you learn it, and people here in my community hear me say it all the time. It's like, I'm not your next fucking guru. I'm not. I want you to have this. Then you have it the rest of your life. Am I here doing the work with you? Yeah, absolutely. We're doing it together. But there's a lot of people, and it's not negative. It's a lot of people out there trying to make a buck. You got to follow this program. Nothing wrong with that. But you know who knows the best for you? You, your true self. I can't do that for you. I can give you the framework and do the work with you, but you know what's best for you. And it's time for that. It's absolutely time for that. I know that in the collective.
I absolutely agree with you. And there's so much to unpack with what you just said, if I may. I love the analogy, the beautiful picture of the granite and David, and to chip away at it, knowing that the art was there. It's just that he was the facilitator of showing the world David. I love that. And that is what I think you're talking about when you say, I'm not your guru, but you are a facilitator. You're there to help people discover themselves. So it's their glory, it's their journey. It's because every journey is unique.
Yeah, thank you. You really framed that beautifully, because that's very, very true. I'm a facilitator. I'm their guide. I don't want everybody to hang on my every word. That's never been a goal of mine. I'm a vessel to bring this to humanity. So yeah.
Beautiful. It's just beautiful work that you're doing. And
Yeah.
and
Wow.
there's so much humility in that, which is, I think there's a fine line that we walk with the humility. Like it can go too far, which I think is the left, and that's a whole nother story. But if we're right there, allowing others to live and not just trying to control, but instead to help, to facilitate by, maybe it's just a phrase, maybe it's a word, maybe it's an entire program, whatever it is. That's a great mission. So thank you.
Thank you. So awesome.
So what exactly is this human bullshit programming and conditioning? How does that happen to us?
It's happened to all of us. And it's basically, how you were raised. It's your parents. Now, again, I want you to understand, we're not placing any kind of blame at all, but it's, your family upbringing, perhaps your religion, school, formal schooling, your community, your customs, your traditions. And again, I really want to emphasize, there's nothing wrong with any of that. It's not good or bad. The invitation is to question that. Just like you said earlier, it's like, why am I doing this certain way? That's beautiful, because the base platform of holistic scaffolding is awareness. You cannot change what you do not see. Yeah.
Yes. So recognizing it. And so this programming that we're getting, I know that's how I started authentic living, actually, was realizing that I call it crabs in a bucket. Sometimes being from a small town, North Dakota is where I grew up, that nobody could get a little too full of themselves because the rest of the community would knock them down a bit, right?
Yeah.
Like the crabs in the bucket, they don't let the other crabs out. They crawl on top of each other till one gets to the very edge, and then they pull them back in again.
Great analogy.
And so it's like I felt like I had to sort of leave where nobody knew me and sort of begin again. And that may or may not be true, but it was my truth at the time. And so just to not be afraid to shine.
Yeah. And that's beautiful. That is taking your power back. You are living authentically. And I want you to know that the work that you're doing, Dawn, is having that ripple effect. I mean, I can feel in that collective and our collective. And yeah, what you're doing has a huge impact, even beyond people that interact with you, hear you. Yeah. So thank you. This is really special. So, and Josh is there as well. And he's part of that. I'm getting chills. He's part of the mission. He's part of what you're doing. Yeah.
Laura, all of what you just said, just my heart um, feels really good right now because of that. We don't know who we're reaching, but just the faith and the trust that our message is resonating with somebody that needs it is so important to those of us that are doing this work, this light work, I call it. And the fact that you mentioned my son, Josh, who passed away 2 years ago. And I know that he's part of this because he's present and that's just the way it is. So I know that he's helping me if nothing else, he's giving me his calm through all of it. So
Yeah.
he was the calmest person I've ever met in my life. Just
Oh, wow.
very
Yeah.
calm. And I have not been. So I appreciate the fact that he is helping me with that right now. Yeah.
That's awesome. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So why is it important for someone to be their own guru instead of attaching to a leader?
And I alluded to it a little bit earlier, but no one knows what's better for you than your true self. Now, I'm not talking about the programmed self because we tend to follow that, how we have been programmed, and we can chase different little rabbit holes. But your true self knows your purpose. You begin to live on purpose. And a guru or a different program where they're expecting you to follow a dogma, a program, that's their idea of what they think you should be doing. Now there's a chance that it might align with your true self, and I'm not judging that. But I know from my journey, and I have followed different programs and stuff, no one knows what's better for me than my true self. And I feel that way about them. And that's the power of holistic scaffolding. It's like once you have that framework for the rest of your life. Yeah, because I don't have all the answers. I'm still working on my human stuff. So
Well, I feel like that's true for all of us that are in this industry and that are out to help others, grow in their life, is that we may just be one step ahead. We may not, and we are, like you said, lifelong learners, which I hope we all are, and I'm sure we are if you're watching this podcast. But if we're just one step ahead, that's all we need to be to show them the way, basically. It's like, walking through thick brush with a machete. It's like, here's the next step for you.
yeah.
Uh,
And it's something that I call in the Fed Up Not Fucked Up book and online course is authentic enlightenment. And I believe that is our mission as humans. It's kind of the classic hero's journey. You choose to take the journey, you learn enough, and then you come back, like you said, if you're even just one step ahead, and then you say, how can I help you? How can I help your journey? This is what I've learned. It might help you, it might not, but that's our purpose. To me, that's authentic alignment. That's what it's all about.
Sounds really good. And in fact, I feel like if our clients do decide to work with us, because we are coaches, facilitators, basically, they appreciate that they're actually just, walking with a friend down a road towards joy. And that's what it's all about. Somebody that's been on that trail before,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like your message is just as important for coaches and for leaders right now as it is for those that are looking to start growing a little bit more in their life.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, it's much bigger than this human can encompass. I know that. So yeah.
Oh, you're just so delightful.
Thank you.
So how is SHH different from most self-help programs?
Yeah, Soul's Healing Humanity and the Holistic Scaffolding. What I haven't mentioned is holistic scaffolding. It's designed to keep you in a more positive, higher vibration. A lot of self-help programs out there really focus on like what you want to change. So that can kind of get you into a negative little vortex of going, hey, I've been there. I still kind of go there sometimes. But holistic scaffolding is designed the second platform is celebrating you. And really, you know what, you've been through a lot as a human. Instead of focusing on just the negative of what you want to change, let's focus on some of the positive stuff that you have successfully like survived and thrived through. I mean, if you've been around the planet a few times, around the sun a few times, you have been through some major stuff. So celebrating that and using that as a higher vibration to do that work. So it is a different approach. Now, I'm not saying that we're always in that higher vibration, because I usually don't give this away, but I feel compelled to do it. Another platform is tantrums and triumphs. So there is a time to throw some human tantrums. And what I want people to know is it's okay. As humans, we have a full cornucopia of emotions. And sometimes, and that's part of our programming, we've been told, you know, you cry as a kid. Oh, somebody might give you a lollipop or a cupcake. Oh, don't cry. Just, you know, it's okay. Or go to your room if you're going to do that. Or, you know, we were shut down. And again, I'm not blaming our parents. They were raising us how they were programmed. But that's part of the programming. We've been shut down, so to speak. So we have not honored that full cornucopia of human emotions. So
100% on that.
yeah,
To feel your feelings, to actually experience them fully, release what your body needs to release. So important for our health and wellness, and
yes.
for us to be able to move on and through to become a better human in this body that we have right now. Oh, I'm with you with that, Laura.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and you know, Dawn, and I mean, with your nutrition and your life coaching, that, you know, our bodies are actually living archives of everything that has happened. And I always say it's not to us, it's happened for us. But you're exactly right. If we don't learn to let that stuff flow through completely, you know, express itself and flow through us, it does get stuck. And I don't really understand, because I'm not in the medical field, so I don't really understand all that, but I do know that can cause disease. So yeah.
Yeah, and if you break that word up, it's dis-ease.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like stuck trauma, stuck emotions that we weren't allowed to release for whatever reason. Like I was told, nobody wants to see that face, go to your room. And then, so then there's a shame involved. There's a shame that attaches to the emotion as well. So yeah, we could talk forever about just that subject, I
I
think.
know that is a very deep dive
Yeah,
conversation.
it
And
is.
we've all been through it, because I'm sure, I mean, if you talk to any human that's willing to open up and be authentic, they've had maybe not the exact same experience, but it's the same emotion.
Yeah. So I love also what you were just saying about the fact that, like, I've been on this earth for 63 plus years, and we all have unique journeys and we have unique talents and gifts. And I do mean unique. Like, there has never been another Dawn Jenyce, and there's never been another Laura on this earth ever, and there never will be. So, I mean, each of us, I feel like, has a superpower.
Yeah, we do. We do. And being able to shed our programming and conditioning and coming into alignment with our true self, that is one of our superpowers. You're exactly right. We have that unique gift, but we've got to shed enough of that bullshit programming and conditioning to be able to know what that is. Otherwise, we're living by somebody else's design. And I did, I don't know, if you watch my YouTube channel, there was something about, it's very personal, but my dad was a writer, and it came to me, you know, he was never published. He lived in fear. Okay. And it came to me through my dad, who's passed, but he's with me now. He's like, Laura, keep going. Don't die with your stories still in you. And it's like, that's exactly my mission. I don't want people to die and pass on with their stories still in them, or you only sing in the shower because you don't think you should sing anywhere else. Or, I mean, we, like you said, we are unique. We all have that. And that's what gets me up every morning. You know, sometimes I have tough days too. It's not all lollipops and unicorn farts anymore. I mean, it's like I have tough times, but I return to that. It's like, that's what keeps me going. I want this for humanity. Oh, yeah.
So beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
just love everything that you stand for. I love your sassiness. It definitely attracts me to you more. Um, I love the fact that you have something called a quick shit list. I think
Yeah.
that's hilarious. Awesome. Everything that you're doing here is so fun and so real. I mean, you're not pretentious at all. And I'm really excited to learn more about what you do. So
Thank
is there a place where people can find your information, can reach
you.
out to you?
Absolutely. Soulshealinghumanity.com is my website, but I'm also on YouTube. I'm on TikTok. And then I think, Dawn, I sent you some links. So there's some free things like Take Back Your Power Workbook, which has like the quick shit list kind of thing in it. There's also Bullshit Bag mini course, and this is just fun. I mean, you get 5 little video mini lessons. They're like 3 to 5 minutes, really short, but it helps people identify some of that bullshit programming and conditioning. And it's just a fun thing to do. And that those things are completely free. So, yeah.
So great. I also was reading some of your stuff and I saw that you said, if you don't have time for 5 steps for 5 to 6 minutes each, then just don't continue reading this because you don't belong here anyway. And that is just the truth, right?
I'm like, I'm just honest and upfront with people. I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't going to be attracted to, my and that's okay. I really am okay with it. But I intuitively know it is the time for something that is completely different. And this is completely different. And people that are ready, I'm here. I'm going to keep creating, and keep living in alignment with my true self. And I'm going to help whoever's, coming in. So
I adore you. So
oh,
I'm really
thank you.
excited.
Likewise.
I'm really excited to dive into your YouTube videos more, get to know more about you. I'm definitely going to download your free stuff and
Oh yeah, for sure.
check out your programs. I also talked to you a few minutes ago to see if you'd be willing to come back later because there's a whole other side that we want to talk about. And I just wanted to make sure that we had enough time to really go deep enough today so people understand about what that means to take your power back.
Absolutely. I do want to mention that I do have the Fed Up, Not Fucked Up. It is an online course, and that is for purchase because I have to be honest, I got bills to pay too. I'd love to do all this for free, but I'm not independently wealthy. So, but it is 22 lessons, video lessons, and it's all self-paced, but it gives you the whole holistic scaffolding. And yeah, but it is available for folks. So
Awesome. Well, what you're doing is very valuable. So putting a dollar amount to it is not a bad thing. It's a very good thing.
yeah.
And I know for me, if I invest in something, I'm much more willing and able to show up for it for myself.
Exactly. I totally agree because we're doing the work and I know what I have to offer ultimately is a great value for your life. Because when you come into alignment with your true self, you're probably going to let go of some of the things you're spending money on that aren't in alignment with your true self. If that makes sense.
That's wow. Yeah, I need
Yeah.
to hear that today. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Laura, for being here on Authentic Living with Dawn Jenyce today. And everybody stay tuned because she's coming back. She told me she would. So
I will. And anything I can do for any of you guys out there, please feel free to contact me. And my email's there as well. So just email me.
yes.
Much love.
We'll put all the contact information below the video and on YouTube. And also we'll be listing it on the podcast app that you are listening to as well. So thank you, Laura.
Thank you. Much love.
All right. We'll see you next time on Authentic Living.